Stood outside the gates of Hampton Court Palace where I was scammed, but this tale has a magical twist. My name's Joe, we are Scaffolding, and this is episode 54.
But they haven't told Sainsbury's yet. They was waiting for your drawing. I said, well, Grant said he needs to redraw it.
My man's running out there today to do just one last survey to double check that everything is as is.
But again, you need time for all this. You know, they're all like pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And I want to do the job because I think it's going to go big.
100%.
Because definitely. It's all falling apart.
We've got an emergency project that's coming. We're actually going to be there very likely next week or next week's episode. There's a part of the building, a major amount of the building is actually starting to come away. It's in London. It's definitely something that everyone's trying to move on quickly. There's a few complications there because there's a loading bay. It's a very busy location. There's traffic management needed. Permits are being sorted, final costs are being agreed, but it's a job that could become a bit of a beast, to be honest, so we're trying to facilitate that and get things sorted there. As it stands, we're on the way to a project that is a bit of a mental one. It's at Hampton Court Palace. There is a major story involved that is going to come later on in the episode, but yeah, it's crazy that we're actually on the way to here. As it stands, I'm still owed loads of money. It is a constant battle. I'm definitely under pressure. There's a lot to do, a lot to be achieved, and a lot to be received in terms of finances. So yeah, we're on the way to Hampton Court Palace. I'm on the way there now. I'll explain the job when we get there and show you why there's a crazy twist to this tale.
Into the floor,
right,
and then you just drill into the top of them. But apparently, this should have all been already in the floor.
They're meant to have sorted these for us.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, the fella, whatever his name is,
Armando.
Armando's on his way, so it'll be about 9:30.
As always, we pulled up to the project. The client isn't here, and the ground isn't ready for us.
But I've said instead of putting a band of plates on every set of standards, we just run a tube through the middle and a butt on the Aberdeen. Radix ground screws.
Hello there.
Armando, hello mate, it's Joe from Scaffolding.
Yeah, how you doing, Joe?
Yeah, good mate, good. So the ground screws aren't in here, did you know that?
Yeah, I know that we have to put them against your poles. So once you put you put all your scaffold up, and then we put them next to your poles to clamp them to.
Which way are we? We're this way.
So that there is there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a splay scaffold,
Gotcha,
basically,
yeah.
and they're hanging a curvature in the middle of it,
Yeah.
off the scaffold.
So what is that there now, mate, Ash?
This is 5.1 back this way now.
5 metres
but
from here to
I don't
down
know if we're 500 off this side as well. I don't want to
definitely
space it all
500
out and then have to try and drag it across mud.
That should bring you 500 in there,
Five.
yeah. Which gives you 500 from there, probably a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah, but that doesn't. It takes you outside of that because then you
Yeah.
splayed 840, which is there,
Yeah.
and then another 1.5. Takes you out there. Pick another sole board there, Jake.
Be handy if the fella was here, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah.
We're up against the clock to get this done, and the boys have realised, once starting to set it out, that the area that's been dug out for us isn't big enough. So they've got to scrape it how much further?
It's got to go down, step down 20 centimetres.
20 centimetres.
So I'd say you guys you've got to have a morning tea break early. Let this guy dig it out.
I've had one for an hour and a half.
20 centimetres, I'll do it myself.
They've got to dig this floor out.
That.
But it comes outside of this.
Are you guys coming to dig the floor out?
Yeah. So you've got 200 millimetres obviously on the plan. I don't know why they haven't gone down that far. They're going to come over and go down. They just want to know where you're digging from zero, because it's on a slight bit of a hill over here.
You probably want to take it from the lowest from the lowest point, so it'll be level. So that back corner that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound. When they come over, if you just let them
Yeah,
go
yeah,
down,
yeah.
they'll sort you out.
Yeah.
The measurements that we've got, it sits to here.
I've got your plan here as well, if you want to see.
Yeah, we have got a copy of it.
Or at least that was our.
Yeah, that's it.
We've now run into our next problem because the ground needs to be 200 mil lower to ensure that that the current ground level sits flush with the boarded area. Got here ready to crack on, and as usual, things aren't ready for us. So the boys are here just getting this dug out now. The client needs us to go down 200 mil for the simple reason being they've got a decking that needs to be sat flush with the current ground level. So once the boys have dug that down, we've then got to put our scaffold in place, which is to support a temporary structure for the flower show that is going to be going ahead very, very soon. We're going to be up against it as always because we've got other places to be after this. Still waiting. The time now is 5 minutes to 10, 4 minutes to 10. And yeah, we're still waiting to get this this ground level to where it needs to be.
I've got the bar.
So it's half a metre from this base.
Yeah, and then hard on the back.
And then hard at that line, yeah. Do you have the curve?
Yeah, I have it, yeah.
Long down there, yeah?
No.
Or 16?
16s.
Yeah.
So, it's likely
Yeah.
that we will actually have to scrape back this way.
Right.
Does that work still?
Why is that?
Because the scaffolding goes down much further.
While we're still having issues on site to get this set out, here are our designs to show you exactly what we are building today for this client.
Our scaffold comes further though, look. Our scaffolding comes another metre, 0.5 past that.
Oh, well, I don't know why it goes beyond
That's
that.
to support it.
No, you can't stick out further than the wall itself. The wall
Well, this you've had this design for weeks, so
yeah, I think. Okay, you're building it to that, but his
because that won't support the corners. Otherwise, it's got to come past it to be able to take the weight of it. There. That way now, on 150, 110. 110.
After a lot of to and fro with the client, we are finally moving. Jake and Ash are working together to get the sole boards spaced out, which are going to be the foundations for our scaffold, and ensure we can build exactly what the client needs with the legs exactly where he needs them.
I think this side you're a little bit further off the base.
well, actually, because it's leaning over that way, you can be right up to the base. Yeah.
I know this corner is tight, so you are 500.
500
From here.
Why are we going so far from the rail?
Sorry, because you're upright. You can't have an upright sat on the end of the board. Your upright has to sit in the middle of the sole board, otherwise it'll just split.
I mean, why can't we bring that in? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can do, but you're still going to need to leave at least 4 inches off that for me to get my ledge and my rails on.
Okay. So if you're
So that's where the scaffold will sit.
I just wanted to clarify something.
Yep.
If there's the pole here,
Yeah.
why do we need to be so far from the rail?
So what are these fixing to?
They're fixing to your horizontals above. So these are fixing to your horizontal bars. They're set out. They're going to be sitting on your cross poles.
And what are they fixed with?
Clamps. Because they have clamps. That's what these holes are in for. Your screw clamps on the.
Is this aluminium?
Yeah, it's all aluminium.
SKs will just punch that. SKs will just go straight through it.
What's in it?
This was
Well, we have
the
our-
fitting,
what our
what
fitting
goes
is.
on it. It's got to go onto steel.
We thought we were having
We were told,
steels.
and also you've got some big plates you're drilling into the floor.
Oh, we've got our screws. Yeah, ground.
That you just drill into the floor, yeah.
Yeah, we've got.
So we yeah.
Yeah.
So we put our SKs to that. I take it that's steel.
This is not part of this. This is supporting our living wall. This is not supporting your scaffolding. This is supporting our living wall. We're just clamping these.
Does it sit flush? Does it sit flat like that?
How do you get clamp to our scaffold? Have you got the clamps?
No, they're.
What we're using?
But an
Yeah, okay.
So basically.
But they won't get an SK off. I'm sure they won't fit. Look, grab us an SK
Well,
off
it's not. It's not. Hang on.
I'll show you what I mean.
So we're going to drive these in wherever you need. These boys.
So they'll sit on that like that, and then you're going to have another rail running round it.
To catch all.
Do you understand?
I know. We thought it was going to be like this.
No.
It's going to be on your poles coming out. That's going in to tighten it on.
Are you going to clip it on like
Yeah,
that?
so your poles got
Sitting underneath
exactly.
it.
steel poles going in the same direction.
I think these are going to split it.
I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I mean, we're hanging. It's pretty alright. 5mm only.
Yeah, I'm just worried that they're going to bend. Right, all of these uprights are 16s.
We're finally off and running after a very slow start, but before we're back here with the boys watching them wrap this up, it's time for our weekly recap for this week in Stellar Scaffolding. Touchdown in the Stellar yard. Got me and Sean's pick up there, twinning, looking smart. Alan's over the back, cracking on as always, and the yard's looking tidy and a little bit bare. Got more stuff coming back though. So I'm up on the platform at the minute, into the office. Sean's in there, running through some numbers. Drawings. So yeah, we're looking alright, we're looking smart. Obviously this is Tracy's desk here. Lovely little setup. Amanda's over there. And then yeah, Sean's over the back. We've got a load of stuff to run through at Paddington at the minute. Gonna get that boxed off. These walls are still to be done as well. So we've got George Collins coming down, he sort of knows that. We're going for a dark grey on this wall here, the one opposite, and then on the two sides, you can see on the two ends, we've got feature walls going in on Stellar colours. So yeah, we're getting there. The floor is done as well, looking super smart. And the wheels are in motion to making us look like a proper business. Yeah, very, very happy. Loving it all coming together. Got some nice greenery as well. Good for the soul, and lots of coffee. Yeah, all in all, we are looking pretty serious. So it's Friday morning and we are about to be on BBC Radio 1. I am going to film me online with Greg James and show you everything as it unfolds. It's my second time with them this week and I'm absolutely buzzing to be on and getting national recognition for this unbelievable industry that is scaffolding. Up the grafters every day. I'm going to go to the vehicle and I'm bringing you with me. Then we are back here. There is so much still to come in this episode. Sorry the job isn't a belter, but the episode still is going to be. Anyway, I will see you very soon live on BBC Radio 1.
Driving, any chance you get pulled over for it?
Yeah, I'm going to pull over in literally 2 seconds. I'll be pulled
Legend,
over.
thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Greg, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Thanks for coming back on.
Thank you for letting me come back on. I feel honoured. It's a privilege.
Are you just pulling over, are you?
Yeah, I'm just pulling over right now. I'm done.
So I'll leave you for half a minute. I'll come back live in a second.
Yeah,
okay?
no problem at all. Top man.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Are you aware of wrong and you know what's going on with this game?
Yeah.
You've got to get wrong answers. That's all we need from you.
I've been doing that my whole life.
Okay. Joe, are you there?
Greg, I'm here.
Good morning, Joe. Welcome back to the Breakfast Show. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. And thank you for having me back on. How are you?
I'm really well, thanks. We
Good
loved
man.
having you on earlier this week. We were talking
wicked.
about the scaff fix. What was it called?
Scaff champ. Scaff champ. Yeah, exactly. Scaff champ. Yes.
This was quite a big deal earlier this week. It was 20 men all congregating to do a scaffolding
championship.
And did you say the Lithuanians are the current champions?
Yeah, Lithuania won it. Yeah, they won it. They won it this time. Unfortunately, the English fell a bit short.
Well, there's always next year, isn't there?
100%.
I missed your premiere on YouTube. How did it go?
Yeah, it was crazy, unbelievable to be honest. Very good, very, very good. Although I'm a bit gutted you missed it.
If I go back over the weekend to Stellar Scaffolding on YouTube, will I be able to watch your video content from the champion?
Yes, you will. Definitely. You definitely will.
That is my weekend viewing sorted. I promise
man.
to watch.
Good man. And every Thursday night at 7 PM going forward, you can do the same thing.
Good. You know what? Best thing I could do is subscribe. How about that?
Yes. That would be unbelievable.
You never miss an episode. Good. So let's get you on to do wrong, and we're going to do some silly questions. All I need from you are wrong answers only, please. Have you got that in you?
Yeah, well, that's all I've ever been doing my whole life, so yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
60 seconds on the clock, wrong answers only. Here we go with question number 1. What World Championships did you attend last week, Joe?
The Plymouth Netball World Championships.
Who did Lord call on Sit Down, Stand Up on Wednesday?
Lord Farquhar.
Name something you might put in tea.
Honey.
What vehicle does Lando Norris drive?
A Fiat Punto.
What do you wear on your head on a building site?
Boots.
What noise does a cow make?
Meow.
Name something you might play in an orchestra.
The flute. Oh no, that's the right answer probably.
Have to move on. What do you like to erect, Joe?
Oh god. Chicken nuggets.
Say something nasty to me.
Greg, you're so handsome.
Who is the king?
Me.
Who is the England football manager?
You.
And what? And what is your name?
Henry VIII.
Lovely. Lord Farquhar, Henry VIII. Loads of great answers in there, Joe.
Yeah.
It's quite stressful, isn't it, Rongan?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's hard.
Thank
Good
you
man.
so much. We
Top man.
really appreciate you on the phone this week and talking about Scaff Champ, and we'll get you back on for the next one. We'll do a proper build up for it next year.
Yeah, top man, Greg. You're the man.
I am a top man.
You are. You're the man. And happy Friday to everyone as well. Have a lovely day and up the grafters always.
Happy Friday, up the grafters. We're all top men.
We're all top men.
Yeah, go top men. Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Love Joe. Love him.
BBC Radio 1. Done. Now before we get back to the boys on site, something that is very, very important and I discuss regularly on this channel is men's mental health. 1 in 4 men struggle with low testosterone, and it is a massive issue and something that is not spoken about or is widely known about. Off the back of that, Manual have sent out a TRT blood kit that once sent away will bring back your results and start to gear you towards a better life. After having my blood work done a number of years ago, I myself now run TRT, and it has massive, massive impacts on benefiting my mood, motivation and energy levels. If you have the reverse of those symptoms that are working against you, by having your blood test done by Manual, your life could change forever. All you have to do is open the box, scan the QR code, clean your finger, into the bag. Now we're going to put a link in the description for this video, and you can grab yours anytime now using our discount code STELLA45 for 45% off from any time now. Got Abs there in our pink high vis, sponsored by the one and only Leeches. Jakey's here, getting cracking with Ash. Finally, took a while to get going. It's a crazy place where we are, and there's a crazy story that is going to come. Some of you may already know it, the majority of you probably do not, but you are going to hear it soon. And there was a major scam that took place with me and this location, but that is going to come towards the end of the video, so stay posted for that.
Right, 115. 115. We'll just nut all these doubles on and then we'll work our way back.
You trying to leave the standards in straight away?
No. I'll just stick the doubles on first.
Yep.
After a very painful morning, the spanners are finally turning. Boys are rocking and rolling, and the standards are going in. The foot tie is going in, and we are starting to build some scaffold. Giant screws that are going to be hooked into the ground. So these are going to be drilled in, and then we're going to run a tube all the way around and fix onto these, and that's going to anchor the scaffold into the floor. Obviously this isn't a usual sort of surface for us to be erecting scaffold on, but as always there's always a solution.
Let me stick my inside one in there, and then you can run your ledger through it. But your ledger coming back this way wants to be a long one, yeah? On this inside. That one, yeah. I don't know if you can get it. Go down lower with that.
Yeah, go on.
God, just. This base hasn't been dug out square, mate. So your scaffold sits further out quite a bit.
There, yeah?
That one is, yeah. That's a bit square. So just run your insides back. Keep them all the same as your outside, yeah. Just measure each one back.
Going underneath that. Want to raise that up a bit?
We are finally moving, although right up against it time-wise, and getting closer and closer to the disclosure of the meaning behind this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, there, Rob.
Good there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. Right. Oh, it's 1.24, but go 1.2. Mosh. And then we're going to want to be 500. Make sure where's my 500 sit there. Is this side all right? This is where it wants to sit, yeah? I don't think they're in the ground far enough.
I reckon. No way.
Can you screw them in the floor anymore, mate? Can they go down further? Yeah. Pretty much flush. You can have a tube going through there like that. So that one might not be too bad there.
I reckon you'll be alright with your doubles.
That one I should get. These ones are going to have tubes coming this way. So they want to sit like that.
Progress is being made. We are now rocking and rolling. Got Jakey Fennell there, he's just running the second lift in now. There was a little issue with these hooks here as well, simply because they were putting them in the centre of the two standards, whereas what Ashley said is, look, they need to be close to the leg. The simple reason being that it obviously gives more stability to the scaffold. So what they're now going to do is double them up all the way along and make sure that the legs aren't going to go anywhere. As you can see here, we've got with circus act going on of getting these screws in. I have said to Jake that that will definitely never be a job that me and him will do together, because I do feel like we would end up falling out with him spinning me around in circles and we'd look like a pair of absolute donuts. Worse than we already do.
Whatever's that?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Sounds like classic FM to me.
That's what you had to listen to on Friday to calm yourself down after Kieran told you off.
I don't even know where it's coming from. That was weird. Square this end off. Get a brace on this bit. On this bay, yeah, get the, look there, well out of plumb. Yeah, plumb them in square, yeah. And then this is square. And then plumb these two in square. Yeah, so leave them two loose. So otherwise it'll just kick it all out of piss.
So the boys are there cracking on. As we've ended up starting a little bit later, lunchtime is out of sync. And me and Abs normally go and shoot off, find a nice garage and grab some grub. We actually need to stay there filming. Obviously the job isn't massive, so we're going to stay there filming and let you guys see exactly what's built. Obviously I know ideally you want to see the big stuff going up, but sometimes there's yeah, the smaller things are worth looking at as well. I think I might have gone the wrong way out, to be honest. I actually need to gauge where the hell I'm going. There's quite a bit going on here. Definitely think I've gone the wrong way out. On the way to the garage. I reckon I need to spin around. This one go around this way. Got a man unloading the digger there. See that he does that all nice and safely. He has. As way of an update for the business, there's an awful lot happening. I've kind of felt like I wanted just for things to kind of catch up with themselves a little bit. I feel like all we've been doing is grow. And we're actually on to do another 50% on our turnover this year as well. So Amanda's had a look at our accounts and what's projected and where we are so far. And we are on to now do 3 million for the year, which is it's another 50% of growth. So we are growing at quite a rate. And it is expensive. It is very, very expensive. So I've been quite keen to be able to take the foot off the gas and let things recuperate. Obviously there's a couple of suppliers that are owed some money. I'm still owed lots of money, and there's a cycle and there's a chain of people to pay, you know. There's always the same. So, and it starts with the top end, I'm waiting on money, then suppliers are waiting, and I just need things just to kind of catch up on themselves a little bit. It's so easy to like take on jobs, and one of the things you do, yeah, like especially in this line of work, is you look at a big contract and you see the numbers and you think, yes, you know, we're going to make loads of money off it, But the reality is you've probably got to buy all the material to do it, especially if your gear's tied up. So yeah, it is name and game of the business we're in. But listen, bottom line is we're moving, we're doing all right, the company's going well, and yeah, I just like everything. I just need to get paid. But with that, you know, we're going to be in a good position. So yeah, but I'm on the way now to grab some lunch, and whilst I do so, we're going to head back to the boys and show you how the lads are cracking on back there.
Put it in and I'll cut it. Yeah, I've got a battery on my gun. You can't leave it. That or someone changed it tomorrow. You can't leave that like that. It just looks rough. Down. Another double and another 21.
Another butt, another double.
Now, although this is done as per design, Ash wasn't happy with the lateral movement of the scaffold, so he's going to put in rakers, which are braces down to ground level, which will be tied into the anchors, and that will offer further structural stability to the scaffold.
On that double, mate. Yeah.
All this space is getting full as well. I think they've just tried to keep it as minimal as possible. You reckon what, a man back here tomorrow will get these done?
I've sent
you sent a short
video of what needs to go, where it needs to go, what the measurements are and everything.
Now the gates are locked, and this is the salt in the wound. But there is a reason why we need to be here. And there's a reason why this story is absolutely mental. Now, here is Hampton Court Palace. And some of you do know, some of you don't know, But a little while ago, a man named David told me that he had a project for me that basically would wrap around the whole of this building here. He was a ground worker. They needed some sort of scaffolding, and ultimately it looked like it was going to become an absolute monster. David told me he had a budget in for the full scaffold on this building, which was going to be right around the outside with a big crash deck in the courtyard, and it was going to go all the way up. He told me their budget for the project was £800,000. When I priced it, my costs came in at just under £500,000. David told me that he would be able to pay me the full fee, and he could also pay me a deposit up front of 100 grand. I then quickly started to feel like David wasn't telling me the truth. I started to feel David was actually leading me on. David, based in Edinburgh, I was due to meet him at Heathrow Airport. He was going to fly down, we were going to agree numbers, and he was going to pay the first deposit. David then told me he'd arrived in Heathrow Airport after a whole weekend of talking and communication backwards and forwards, for me to then tell him to send me his location by dropping a pin and show me that he was there. David dropped a pin. I was then driving along with Abs at the time. Abs grabbed my phone and clicked the link. I was very excited. When Abs clicked the link, the pin then shot all the way up to Edinburgh, and we then very quickly realised that David was not real. I had been scammed. I was under the impression that I was about to clear hundreds of thousands of pounds in pure profit before we even stepped foot on site. Not only that, it would have been a very, very high profile project for us, and something that again would have elevated the company. Although typically you would think something like this seems unrealistic, because of our YouTube channel, so many things have come to us that have been outside of the norm and have brought huge value to the business. Therefore, I was gullible. Now, to round this up very quickly, something crazy that came to light about 2 weeks after this saga with David. I had an email out of the blue to say there's a project coming up at Hampton Court Palace and they needed us to price it. At the time, I was stood on the Tower Bridge project. When I told everyone, Abs' reaction was, what, are they trying it again? That then made me second guess myself. And again, because the email actually looked like it could be half suspicious, I nearly didn't respond. Luckily, I did. And that is why we are here where we were today. Although they are two very different sizes and two very different scales of project, they are here at Hampton Court Palace. So one thing I would say to anyone is if anyone ever tries to scam you and makes you think that you're about to live an absolute dream, believe it, because sometimes dreams do come true. I'm going to use that to wrap up the episode. Thank you to every single person who likes, comments and is subscribed. If you haven't already, please do so, and we'll see you again next week for episode 55.